Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free. Land of wake and joy, unity. Victors in the struggle for their right. We've won freedom's fight. Oh, what strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us, who are people, join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace means Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight, Zambia prays to thee. Oh, one strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise be, praise be. Bless our great nation, Zambia, Zambia. Free men we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee. Oh, one strong and free. Thank you, Mr. President. Shall we pray? Almighty God and Father of all mankind, we thank you, Lord, for the good health you have given to each one of us today. We are grateful to you, Lord, for allowing us yet again to meet in this place for this special press conference taking place this afternoon here at State House. We acknowledge your presence and bow before your throne of mercy. We pray and ask you, our Father in heaven, to strengthen and protect and guide our Republican President as he chairs this press briefing. Once again, Lord, we stand to pray for all the people and ask you to help them. We continue to intercede on their behalf and give you thanks. To you, our Lord. We pray for kings and all who are in authority so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives marked by godliness and dignity according to your word in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1. We commit this entire program into your hands and seek your presence to begin with us through to the end of this program. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We may take our seats, please. Thank you, Mr. President.
Very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, welcome this afternoon to our press conference to be addressed by the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. We are delighted to have you here as always. Now, as a matter of keeping order and also as a matter of expediency, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, I think it's only right that we go through a few basic house rules which are going to allow us to proceed as smoothly as we really ought to do. So first and foremost, Mr. President obviously will address the press conference. Thereafter, we shall take a few questions from members of the press. Questions will be taken in a bunch of 3 at a time. Then we shall make way for Mr. President to respond. May I also make an earnest appeal that let us please stick to 1 question at a time. When you're given an opportunity to ask a question, let us ask 1 straightforward question, no consolidated question, to make it easy for Mr. President to respond. May I also indicate that for purposes of expediency, we want to request that all questions must be within the subject matters, otherwise within the remit of what Mr. President will discuss this afternoon. But of course, however, those colleagues, members of the press, who would wish to ask questions beyond the remit of what will be discussed this afternoon, we shall request that you put in a press query, and we shall be expedient in responding to that press query. I urge that we cooperate on that front. May I also request that we put all our phones on silent, otherwise we can also turn them off, so that we do not disrupt Mr. President as he addresses this press conference. I thank you very much. At this particular moment in time, it is my privilege and honor to make way for Mr. President to address this press conference. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Mr. Anton Bwalia. I just want to recognize all the colleagues that are here, because I haven't put my eyes on you to recognize you individually. I would like to recognize you severally and with due respect, but also to recognize and welcome to this press briefing members of the press, in fact for whom this press conference was called. It was for the members of the press. So very nice to see you here after a while. We're very pleased to have you here. I want to say simply, fellow citizens, once more welcome to this press briefing, your press briefing. We want to reiterate what we said during the campaigns before you put us in office, that would be transparent and that will always make time to engage with the press. It looks like we've been in the government for a long time. It's just a month. It's just hardly a month. But I know many say he hasn't spoken to us. He's been in government for 6 months. It's only 1 month. But it means that we're doing something useful that makes you feel that we've been around long enough. But we will walk the talk, committed to meeting you, engaging you, even when we are on this side of politics, which is on the government side. So we're very delighted that today, presumably in this manner, we are having our first press briefing, our first press conference. Before, it is when we are announcing, and I'm sure you're looking at the white gloves, and they're not here today. So you know, this is an engagement with you, the media, as per promise, so that we're transparent, we engage you openly, and so we can share issues around the way we are approaching governance and democracy in our country. Are we on? We're not on. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Are we on? Are we on? Anton, give me a signal. We're on. Looks like we're on. Are we?
I think the president will continue.
Right, thank you very much. I was just indicating to you, the press, that we committed to engaging with yourselves when we're on this side of politics, which is government. And today is one instance that we're beginning to walk the talk, as we said. And that will be important. It's important, we believe, for good governance, for democracy in our country. And I also want to reiterate what I said to one of the radio stations, the private radio stations, that we'll be appearing on an open line, unrestricted line, to be talking to the citizens. And I think we'll do that very soon. I know that radio station may be around here. I haven't seen you, but I guess you are here. So take me on, as we agreed, so that we can talk to the citizens. We bring a different style, a different approach to public affairs management. Today we aim to brief the nation, you the nation, of course through the press, on our recent trip to the United States of America. We shall also touch on a few pertinent national issues of national importance. Our US trip, we had a lean delegation, a very lean delegation to the UN General Assembly, to the United Nations in full General Assembly. Obviously, to also broader aspects of the United States of America. This was, in the history of our country, the leanest group, the leanest number of people that went out there to further the interests of the people of Zambia. But we believe that size doesn't equate to value. This small team achieved a lot more than the huge delegations that the country had become accustomed to over the years. We were told that on average, in such missions before, there would have been as many as 100+ people. Some of them would have gone there for a month before the events, 1 month before the event. A person like me always looks at cost-benefit analysis. It was never going to be. It's a new way of doing business in town. And that's the way you will be accustomed to very soon. Lean and fit, but effective all the time. So we can confirm that. I know there were debates behind when we left that no, there was a big delegation. It was the smallest. You can check it out yourselves. You can also work out the numbers yourselves, how much money we saved. Our mission to bring back benefits to Zambia was all we went out to do. To bring back benefits to Zambia is what we went out to do, nothing else. To be specific, we were joined in that trip, as President was joined in that trip by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, of course, and International Cooperation. The acting Bank of Zambia governor was amongst us in this small lean delegation. And of course, key staff in the Ministry of Finance, 1 or 2 to be precise, and Foreign Affairs, 1 or 2, and a small number from State House. That is it. That's what it was. Nothing more. And as I said, we're transparent. You can check it out yourself. That's it. I don't think you've heard me. That's it. And hopefully there will be no further debate on this. So, we traveled commercial. I was very impressed with the debate behind home. Some were talking of security issues, some were talking of, no, it was more expensive than the Gulf Stream. No, it was the cheapest. We traveled commercial to send a message that the prudence we're talking about, the cost saving we're talking about, we walk the talk from State House. And hopefully all other ministries, central government departments, quasi-government departments, local government will follow suit going forward. We lead from the front, not from the back. So we went commercial. And the message is clear. No extravagance, new ways of doing things. Any money available, extra money, belongs to the people of Zambia. It must be used to benefit the people of Zambia. Our country is in a financial situation that is challenging, and we will maintain discipline in our expenditure approach, or approach to expenditure. In our general conduct, cost consciousness will drive our decision making. How and how much savings we can create and pass on those to benefit the people is a key priority at all times. I'm sure you are aware that even in the government procurement systems, we've set 3 rules, having observed, and many of you complain that we're slow. Not at all. We are observing, we looked, we checked what we knew before we came in. We wanted to confirm that this is what it is inside. And indeed we've confirmed that there was extravagance, excessive extravagance, beyond your imagination. If you go to know what was going on there, you fall off your chair, completely fall off your chair. We carried a colleague called Impress Carrier, and I told my colleagues, I want to make this Impress Carrier irrelevant. I never got a penny from his Impress because I didn't need it. I did not need to hire boats. I did not need to throw parties in Washington. How can you leave your home and go and throw parties in an expensive location like New York? Who are you pleasing there? Who are you impressing there? Never again. So, the Impress Carrier, we made him irrelevant. And I've made a proposal that we don't need the Impress Carrier the next time we travel. We don't need it. Let them stay home. Let them allow that Impress carton box to work for people. You know the carton box I'm talking about? Carton box of cash must stay here and take care of the interests of the people. I'm emphatic on this so that we get to understand each other, that there's a new way of doing things in town. So, we arrived in New York on the 20th of September and proceeded to engage with various stakeholders in New York. We met with numerous private investors who expressed interest in investing in various strategic sectors in our country. These include, sectors, energy, agriculture, technology. Very important. Technology is an important platform for us to lower our cost of doing business. Tourism, obviously understanding the COVID environment, but we are confident that soon tourism will rebound. Mining, of course, is important, just amongst the few sectors that we engaged various potential investors in, knowing very well and sending a clear message that investors come to this country, we are the host, we have a population that need to be involved in these investments, even at the equity level, at the partnership level, at the joint venture level. We're sending a message out there, come and do business with us, but you have to work with the people of Zambia. And they are there, and they are capable. And we'll make it possible for that to happen going forward. This is in line, of course, with our commitment to revive the economy. And this is a ticket upon which we were elected. To revive the economy is the trump card of our election. Zambians want a change. To do what? To deliver a turnaround in the economy. What is this turnaround meant in the economy? What is the change Zambians wanted? Jobs. To create jobs. And I hear a lot of messages, where are our jobs? They're coming. We have first to fix the economy. There will be no job that will come from a rock. As you know, milk that comes from a cow. It doesn't come from a rock. To get milk from a cow, you have to feed the cow first. Then to convert the feed into milk. It's as simple as that. 1 month into office, we are moving in the right direction to fulfill the agenda that the Zambians elected us to do for our people, always for our people, especially the youth. We understand your agitation because you were deprived for years, 10 years, even more. Now is the time to be able to be alert to say, what is your government doing? The first step your government is doing is to turn around the economy. I like repeating things so that they are understood correctly. Turn around the economy. To turn around the economy, we need to bring investments in different sectors. And that's where your participation will be facilitated. Then your jobs. Then your business opportunity to supply, if you run a business, goods and services. That's why we've set up the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises. So there we can make you work your way through to becoming a supplier of goods and services. Or, as I'm reminded, works. That's what they say in government, goods, services, works. That is our intention. That's why we took the first step. It's very important that Zambians understand that nothing will happen without a turnaround in the economy. You won't get the health services you want. You won't get the education you want. You won't get for the university students, you won't get your meal allowance you want, which you need if there's no turnaround in the economy. That's our trump card. That's why you put us in office. We also engaged foundations, various foundations, development partners who offer to assist, to work with us in our country in various areas of development, again for the benefit of our citizens. You know that there's a sector in our country which requires support through foundations, through development partners. On the 23rd of September, your servant, myself, I delivered my maiden address to the United Nations General Assembly. I'm sorry it was delivered because of time zone difference quite late in this country. I think some of you needed to be in bed. Can we fix this thing, please? This is why we need technological changes, right? Honestly, we can't be such old-fashioned, eh? Please give me a signal when you're ready. People are anxious. Maybe I can speak. You can hear me, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try and shout. I'm sure you can hear me. Right, thank you very much. So the system will join us. We'll continue. So on the 23rd of September, I said I delivered my maiden address to the United Nations General Assembly. And I was just apologizing to you that the time that I delivered the speech, it was quite late here, purely on account of the time zone differences. But I'm glad that a number of you, judging from social media, from obviously looking at what was happening, the debate there, you did follow our address to the General Assembly. And I'm sure I can confidently say that you are proud that we went there and we were able to deliver the message on your behalf. If you weren't proud, the global community was very proud of you through us out there. I think we've taken our place in the League of Nations. We were losing our place in the League of Nations, Global League of Nations, but now we believe that we've firmly reinforced our position as a member of the global community through our attendance of the General Assembly. We moved on from there after we did our job in the General Assembly Hall. We moved on while in New York. We met with heads of state. Other heads of state took the opportunity because it was possible now we were together with other colleagues. Just to give you an example, we thought it was very important to meet the president of Austria, with whom we agreed that we are going to commence enhanced relationships with his people and indeed other countries around there, anchored again on the economic platform. International relations anchored on the economic platform. Trade and investment. That was our message. And we wanted to establish how this could work towards benefiting our own economy here all the time so that we can create opportunities for our people. We went ahead and met on the continent, in the neighborhood, President Tshisekedi of Congo DR. You know, we share a long, long border with Congo DR. And we have a lot of opportunities as well as issues between ourselves and Congo DR over years. And we dedicated ourselves, my colleague, my brother, President Tshisekedi, and myself dedicated ourselves to focusing our relationship on the economy, on trade and investment. As a huge opportunity that we in this country have not been seeing properly, we have not evaluated properly in terms of what we can do with Congo. It's a huge market. We can produce more than what we produce and sell to Congo. Before forming government, I was campaigning. I gave you a message, a narrative that when we form government, I'll be the chief investment officer for Zambia. I'll be the chief salesman for Zambia. And there is our road towards that vision of being market access openers for our businesses. Small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses. We also said when we were campaigning that we do not want to call the Congolese as smugglers on the border. You can't call your customer a smuggler. We want to change that terminology. No more calling the Congolese as smugglers. Those are our customers. If we've not done our trade relationship properly, we'll restructure it now so that we can sell more goods into Congo and earn the much needed foreign exchange. And certainly, the president of Congo sees it the same way, that we have mutual benefits. And so, investment, relationship, brotherhood, sisterhood, based on common interest is what will drive our renewed relationship with Congo. And so is with other neighbors. Very, very important, extremely important to our own economy. And we'll be engaging the Zambian manufacturers, the Zambian traders, so we can export more into Congo. We can send more goods and services in Congo. Where there is a gray area in the trading arrangements, financial arrangements, we will make sure that we'll streamline those, working together with our Congolese partners through President Tshisekedi. I'm very impressed with the discourse we had with President Tshisekedi of Congo. And we agreed that we immediately going to set up an action-oriented team, a team that will deal with those issues. Any glitches between ourselves should be dealt with. We don't have to wait for SADC. We don't have to wait for the African Union or the UN to deal with each other. We will deal with each other as brothers, one in bedroom one, one in bedroom two. New thinking, different approach to neighborliness. That's the approach we will take with other neighbors. We also discussed the importance of keeping peace, security, stability on our long border. I'm sure some of you know there are small issues. There are small issues around there. So we'll be dealing with those issues as friends, as family members, not as adversaries. This country under our leadership has no time to wage war with anybody. We have no time for that. The energy, the resources we have is to ensure we advance the economic and social interests of the people of Zambia all the time. And I'm very pleased that we had that meeting with our brother. That's the approach we'll take elsewhere. That's the declaration we've made. And very, very important declaration in my view. We met the EU president, EU Council president there, Ms. Charles Mitchell, who we reaffirmed the EU's commitment to supporting our development efforts. I'm sure many of you are aware that the European Union has a lot of programs with us here, and there are issues around the way the country was run, democracy, rule of law, human rights. We're put to rest all those issues, and we expect that the programs we're doing will continue, and obviously we will probably increase, not probably, I'm being conservative here, will enhance our cooperation, will enhance the programs that are being done between the European Union as a bloc and indeed Zambia. This is extremely important because sometimes you see things going on in a hospital, some medicines in a hospital, they come from different relationships, different from arrangements. We just get treated and go home. But it's important to know that that will continue and will be even improved going forward. On 22nd September, we traveled to Washington, left New York, traveled to Washington, where we had the honor of meeting the President, the Vice President of the United States at the White House. I want to raise some debate again. In White House, you get invited. You don't just go there. You get invited. We went to the White House on the invitation of the US government of White House and had a meeting there. The last time such a thing happened was 1992. Let's set the records clear. If you meet with the sitting president of America in a garden party somewhere, it doesn't mean you are invited to White House. It doesn't mean that. So let's settle that debate. And the significance of that is that during that period, there are many people who wish to be invited to White House, not because it's the White House, but it's to enhance the trade investment relationships and basically the friendship, the alumni that helps you, for those who understand business, to do things better in future when you want to do certain things. So let's rest that debate. Since 1992, under President Chiluba, this is the first time that this country has had an invitation to White House. Make your own conclusions. We discussed matters of mutual interest on behalf of the US government, of course, Vice President, herself, who you know has some history with our country. When she was young, she was around this country. She was around our town, to be specific, Lusaka. So we chatted a little bit around those issues, but more important, she represented her government, we represented our government, we represented you on issues, areas of common interest, beneficial to all our people. Their desire, of course, is for stronger and increased mutual relationships. That's our desire as well, as members of the global community, worthy members of the global community. While in Washington, D.C., we met with members of the United States Senate members of Congress, of the House, they expressed their excitement about the new opportunity in Zambia, what Zambia could offer, what Zambia could get from the relationship with other countries, including the US. This is a very important conversation for many of you who understand global issues. We also expressed our desire to work with them to enhance, deepen our democratic maturity, as we demonstrated that this country, since 1991, this is the third time that we've experienced a change of government, democratic change of government from one party to another. 91, UNIP to MMD. 2011, MMD to PF. 2021, right? PF to UPND. I know most of our members are still not yet convinced that there's a change of government in their family. They are still behaving like they're in the opposition. You can feel that, but who can blame you about it? Been a long road, but we're here. We must now act as a party in government, and a party in government has responsibilities to the nation, and we must act correctly. It's a very strong message I'm sending to the United Party for National Development. Let's behave as people in government, people who are responsible for not just the UPND members, but for the welfare of the whole country. 18 million people. You behave differently when you carry that responsibility. And we would like to see that going forward. I'll say a little bit more later on. You'll be very happy, and I think some of you watched it, that we were invited to speak at the United States Institute of Peace. And there, it's a think tank. We were lucky to have that opportunity, and we affirmed our commitment to peace, democratic processes, rule of law, respect for human rights, liberties and freedoms. And indeed, maintaining Zambia as a peaceful country. Peace and stability is important for economic advancement. So we discharged our duties there. Some of you don't have to be told you watched that debate. So thank you very much that you had time to watch that debate. And out of that debate, there will be things that will arise. And we understand the things that will arise, and we believe they will advance the interests of the people of Zambia. We met with the USAID administrator who are doing work here, been doing work here, Samantha Powell, who also pledged to support our development efforts, and particularly the renewed development efforts. Because while we're at the UN, if I may tack back a little bit, we made a point that democracy will only be meaningful to us in Africa, to us in Zambia, if it delivers dividends, democracy dividends. What is that we had in mind? Development, opportunity, jobs, food, fair trade. So we can also send goods and services across the world. But we can only do that if we are productive ourselves. If we produce nothing, the opportunity to go begging. So we are very clear in that sense. I'm pleased to inform you, as our nation, as citizens of our nation, that just out of that interaction with the USAID administrator and making our case of what we intended to do in this country, we were able to derive an additional $30 million. The US doesn't work like that. It takes time. You make your case, and they'll tell you that they will go back to Senate, they'll go back to Congress, you have to wait. It doesn't happen like that. After that meeting, within a few days, a confirmation of $30 million more was made to us. It doesn't happen. Check your records. It is the way we made our case. It's the way we argued our case. It's the way we'll continue arguing our case going forward. And you will be happy about it. Just be patient. We haven't even done our budget. Wait and see what is sitting in the budget. The first budget ever of the UPND. Just wait and see. You will see a realignment of certain things, And then you begin to isolate that jobs will come from there, jobs will come from here and there. Be watchful, be observant, and draw your own parallels as to what was obtaining in the past. We will not draw the comparison for you, you draw it for yourselves. Then you see how serious we are. A lot of things that we discuss out there will be followed. This morning, we had meetings in this your state house to now do what I call an action list, tagging. Many meetings we had, tagging the specific benefits that Zambians will get through those interactions. And we'll come back to you and say to you, this is a menu of things in addition to this preliminary position that will impact your lives in this sector, in that sector. That's the attribute we carry from business. We bring it into public affairs management. It will benefit this country. Trust us. We focused, amongst other areas, on issues of empowerment. Issues of empowerment, youth empowerment, women empowerment. We focused on job creation. We focused on creating business opportunities for our people. We tied this to our own policies here, such as what? Let me preempt your questions. We want to see, we made a case that ourselves, the Zambians, we walk the talk. One of which I was just about to say, but PA went off, was that we will work to create savings. 3 factors I wanted to mention. 1, all procurement of goods and services and works in government will be anchored on 1, correct price. This government will not buy anything more than the fair price. Be it fertilizer, be it petroleum, be it construction sector, roads, where the smell of corruption reared its ugly head every single day. No road will be done above what is the correct price, and we know how to determine the correct price. We can benchmark. I know a number of our people are saying they want to be the chairman of the road RDA so that they can do what the former chairman of RDA were doing. It won't happen. It will not happen. You want to be chairman of RDA, you will be a chairman who will work within these 3 rules. Buy the roads. I'm using a business term. Contract to get a road done at the right price per kilometer. Number 2, right quality. Number 3, delivery on time. So you may be having a wish which you will not like once you become chairman of RDA. Because if you walk the other way, you'll find yourself in trouble. Yes. I'm serious. It's not a joke. We want to save money ourselves. We don't go out asking for support before we do our own homework. I've said here before, why should government dig a borehole for 60,000 kwacha when it only costs 20,000 kwacha? Where is the 40,000 kwacha going? Private pockets. You want to be PS in energy water because you want to dig a borehole at 60,000 kwacha instead of 20,000 kwacha? It won't happen. You do it at your own peril. And don't call me your enemy. I'm your true friend because I'm helping you to do the right thing for the benefit of the people of Zambia. So we reinforce that position that we will do what is within our domain. What else are we going to do? We will ensure that government assets, every asset that was taken away from the people, and we will know where it is, we will recover it. Again, don't say the government is witch hunting. No. Give to Caesar. Who answered that question that way? Pharisees were trying to test Jesus to see whether he understood certain things, to catch him on the wrong side. Said, we are tired of paying taxes. He said, give me a coin. He got a coin, he looked at it, turned it around, he said, whose image is this? Says Caesar's. So give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Not me. If Jesus can say that, why would you want to point a finger at me? In the first place, why did you take what is not yours? So, we committed to this as a package to winning the credibility and the support of others. Very important, fellow citizens. So I will say we focused on job creation, democracy, governance, which includes fighting corruption, but in a professional way. No political hand. I emphasize. I see people are celebrating, suggesting that there's a confusion in the fight against corruption. Well, let's wait and see who will have a last laugh. It is the people of Zambia. What else did we focus on? Decentralization, devolution, taking resources away from the headquarters of thieving in Lusaka and take it to the constituencies. Take the money to the constituencies. That's where the voters are. That's where the youth are. So that the youth can get some contracts to do a job to build a clinic in a constituency, rather than importing a foreigner to build a clinic in a constituency. Guidelines will be provided on how to do that. And we made that case. Once we made that case, others came through and said, today, this week, HH, here's an additional $30 million. That's how you make your case. You don't make your case and then on the other day you are stealing from the people. We met the IMF. I'm sure you were waiting for that. Yes. We met the IMF. We met the World Bank. We met such other institutions. We expressed our approach, explained to them our approach to running the country. We explained to them that things will be different. In response, goodwill, support, finding solutions where we are unagreed on certain issues so that we can reach agreement, so we can move on the programs that we've been wanting to do. Restoring credibility to the financial services sector, not just locally, but globally. If you don't do that, the cost of money will be expensive. The interests will be higher. For some of you, it doesn't make sense. Ask any business person. You want to reduce the cost of money? Part of what you need to do is to come with credibility to the table. That's what we took out there. If we're going to access funding, which we will for businesses in different sectors at affordable rates, then we'll have done our homework. Then the jobs will come along. Part of our duty is to ensure that our businesses, Zambian, regional, foreign, access, especially Zambian businesses, access affordable capital. Then they can expand. When they expand, they'll create more jobs. I guess for the journalists, this subject is a bit boring. But this is real. This is it. This is the one that changes the economy. So we're very pleased with those meetings, and you see some progress around there. The Minister of Finance tomorrow is giving his statement, and he will touch on these issues. He will give the details. Listen to him tomorrow. Division of Labor, isn't it? Listen to him tomorrow. These institutions know what was not going on well here. We know what was not going on well, and we were able to bridge that gap. They are supportive of us, your leadership. It means they are supportive of you, Zambians. They would like us to get into, as we want, an IMF program. Let's not misunderstand the IMF and call IMF conditionality. The fight against corruption is not an IMF condition. It's a UPND government condition. It's the people of Zambia's condition, isn't it? Cutting expenditure is not an IMF program. It is our program. So we can create savings. Getting consensus amongst creditors to dismantle the debt mountain, which is choking a lot of our budgets. When we do a budget in this country, 2 items take our money. What are those items? Debt service and salaries, remuneration of those in the public sector. 2 items takes away almost 80-90% of the budget. How can you develop with 20% only? You can't. So our job then was to realign the revenue available so that we spend less on consumption and we drive more on investment expenditure. Again, growth will come from there. So we discussed progressive ways of dismantling this debt mountain, which is distortionary. It also doesn't make sense. I ask you a question, don't answer the question. I'll answer it for you. How is it that you borrow over $20 billion as a country on one side, and on the other side, there are no assets to show the value of 20 billion? How can that be? There's something wrong there. This is a situation we found, and we are determined to unblock it. And that's what we're doing here. So to come to a progressive way of dealing with our debt situation so that we can release resources for development. There's no question about that, that there's an increased investor confidence in our country, and we owe it to you, the people of Zambia, who elected a credible team. That's it. We owe it to you. The global stage is now saying Zambia's position has been restored in the community. Just one trip. We'll take 1 or 2 more trips. Your guess is as good as mine. With this kind of conversations in our visit, this kind of meetings, with this kind of interactions, we are confident that we'll be in a better position, better equipped to turn around our economy, to fight corruption, to recover stolen assets, because we need global cooperation. The colleagues that took assets were quite elaborate. Assets are far. Some assets, your assets, have been taken so far, too far. To retrieve them, we have to cooperate with others. And we are on the road to doing that. With the multiple engagements we had, it was clear that Zambia is now a country that inspires confidence. A country that has regained its respectability, its respect on the global stage. Let's have that same respectability back at home. And when we say things here, we must say things as they are. Innuendo, assumptions based on non-facts will not help the economy. The economy works on sentiments. If you send the wrong sentiments, it will not help the economy. That's why this press conference is taking place. We owe you a briefing, isn't it? We owe it to you. You are the owners of this country. But once we give you the briefing, extract the facts out of this briefing and run with the facts, not different things. And I want to confront one issue here. But before I do that, the aim of our trip was to strengthen Zambia's position in the world, to be a better place country, to grow our economy, to build our partnerships that will help us accelerate development. As always, for jobs, for business, for health, for education. You will hear the Minister of Finance how we have been able, out of this trip, to arrange things that will allow us to employ more teachers who have been walking the streets without jobs, to employ more health workers. I leave that to him. This is how the world works. This is how the world works. We are confident that to the business community, there are new opportunities coming for you. Prepare yourselves to act credibly so you can partner others who will bring value and help you expand your own business. We will assist you doing that. We will assist you, work with you. But be credible yourselves. When you get equity partners, money comes in, you south for money and go and buy a BMW. It won't help you grow your business. It won't. Buy a machinery that produces something for you to sell into Congo and will help you get a market in Congo. I'm serious.
Yes.
Then you create the jobs that the youth are crying for. This trip was nothing else other than the things I've said here. It was for nothing else other than the things I said here. It was to create a case for Zambia, to market Zambia, not by falsehoods, but by facts. And to attract colleagues that share our vision and values, and therefore bring in investments in our country. But investments won't come if it takes 1 year to get a title deed. Some of you go to lands for 1 year, you don't get a title deed. We want the title deeds to be issued on time so that you can now work on your plot, on your factory with your partners and create jobs. That we are going to do. You don't have to corrupt anybody going forward to get your title at lands. You don't have to corrupt anyone in the council to get your restaurant license going forward. We are coming for you. Those who want corruption, who want a bribe in order to give an operating license. Those of you who hold back your citizens' business activities so they can pay you a backhander. The system will catch you. Because you are the ones destroying jobs. So we have a menu for everybody and everything. Just watch our steps. We did not go out there for lesbian rights. You haven't heard me. You have not heard me. We did not go there to talk about lesbian rights. We did not go there for that. Thank you. We did not go there for what I've just said. This is the point I want to make, and make emphatically. Follow the issues, please. You are free. This is a democracy. Say what you want, but just tell the truth. That's all. No one will pursue you, but ultimately you make yourself irrelevant.
Yes.
Say the truth. No one went for an agenda of those issues. The Constitution provides for those issues. I'm not a constitution. I'm an Adventist myself. I'm an elder in the church. I even had time to attend service. I had time to attend service in Washington.
Amen.
And I was given time to talk. I didn't want to talk. I talked enough in the boardrooms there. I just sang my lovely song in my mother's tongue.
Oh, yes.
And the Americans loved it. That's it. So, please, you are free to say what you want. You are free as journalists to write what you want. Remember, we've suggested that you self-regulate. I'm sure you are taking advantage of that. You are creating structures that will allow you to self-regulate. But honestly, if someone is writing falsehoods, you should also be free to challenge them on your own.
Yes.
That there is nothing like that in the agenda. But allow them the space to make people know who they are, truly. Don't gag them. Give them a space to say what they want. You then have space to correct what they're saying. So we did not have any other issues to discuss other than around these issues. And we'll continue doing that for the greater good of this country. We have no qualms, no shame, no worries about any falsehoods. We're used to these falsehoods anyway. There's nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. But very few customers will be listening to those falsehoods going forward. Because people want value. And we're working towards delivering value. Few things on the domestic scene. The coronavirus. The coronavirus has claimed lives of many of our loved ones. First wave, second wave, third wave killed a lot of our people. Let's not have short memories. A lot of our people died during the third wave. This pandemic is deadly. We say what we're saying because the fourth wave is coming. It will be upon us very soon. It will be deadly. We must act together. We must act in unison. Part of our mission there, out there, those faraway lands, was to ensure that we get the required support to fight to combat this coronavirus, to bring it under control. We don't bring this virus under control, it will be difficult for us to work the economy. Please, let's respect science. Masks are still important. I check around. Please put your masks on. Please. Let's protect the loved ones next door to us. In the house, in the streets. We made our case at the UN General Assembly that COVID knows no borders. The rich countries are vaccinating their people. We've only managed to vaccinate 3%. We intended to vaccinate by this time on somewhere next year. Maybe by the end of this year, 70% of our population, eligible population. We won't do it. It won't happen because we don't have the resources. So we have asked for the global community, the UN level, to increase the vaccines available to lesser developed countries like us. We made our case very clear. We were emphatic. And the message was heard. More vaccines are coming. More vaccines are coming. But we have vaccine hesitancy. Some of us are reeling in whatever beliefs that somebody is going to control us genetically. That is not true, please. Don't allow more of our loved ones to die. I have been vaccinated. Double vaccination. My wife has been vaccinated. My children have been vaccinated. We will encourage all of you to take the vaccination. Don't wait until your uncle is dead. I remember what happened in the third wave. Once people were dying, then they were queued for vaccinations. Don't wait for that time, please. And the Ministry of Health, the COVID advisor we have appointed to show you that we're raising the stakes on this issue, on this pandemic. We've appointed the COVID advisor to work with the Ministry of Health, to work with experts, to protect our frontline staff, medical staff. Teachers are frontline staff. Pupils are frontline people. We need to take care of our people. My appeal to you is that can we take responsibility in fighting this pandemic? A bit more local issues. And hear me out, please. I'll say this for the last time. We reaffirm our commitment to ending cadarism in public places. Council authorities and not cadres will collect revenues and manage markets, bus stops. Full stop. That's it. There was no need to run a debate around this issue. Let's step aside a bit. Why did we say cadres will not run markets? What was the issue? The issue was, in the previous government, that cadres took away market stores from citizens. Cadres from one political party took away stores from widows. And if you tried to fight for your store, you were beaten. That was the issue. Number one. Two fundamental issues. Cadres controlling the markets, taking away market stores from citizens. It doesn't matter which political party they are, but the citizens of Zambia, who should be free to trade in these markets. Cadres took the law in their own hands. Somehow, councils obliged themselves to allow cadres of one political party, let's be specific, PF, to exercise hooliganism in markets, violence in the markets. It will not happen. It will not happen again. Second issue was that cadres were collecting revenues meant to be collected by councils, drying the councils of much needed revenue to provide services, water, toilets, clean toilets in the markets, garbage collection, even paying salaries of council workers. PF cadres took away a lot of money, stole a lot of money, and they were allowed to do that for 10 years. Hear me out. These two things we did not like as a party, we do not like as citizens of Zambia. Violence, abuse, and taking revenue. They were not just taking revenue from marketeers, they were taking revenue even from taxi drivers, minibus drivers in Kulima there. Yes, you went and delivered a truck of tomatoes or cabbage at Soweto. The cadres took that truck away from you and gave you a price, a lower price, and they sold your truck of tomatoes and vegetables at a higher price and made a profit, and the farmer went home with a loss. We were elected by those farmers. We were elected by those taxi drivers, minibus drivers, by the woman marketeer whose 5 boxes of tomato was grabbed from the cadres when she took 20 boxes and was left with 15 boxes. And the price was being determined by cadres. It will not happen again. I want to address UPND. If it was bad when it was done by PF, it is bad when it's done by UPND. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Law and order is part of the ticket that brought us into government. We will not run away from that ticket obligations. The issues of PF taking stores, all the stores in the last 10 years, can be dealt with properly between the council and citizens whose stores were taken away, grabbed away by cadres. That's no-brainer. It's not a debate issue. It's a no-brainer. The markets are now open, bus stops are open, taxi ranks are open to all taxi drivers. Because there were taxi drivers who were chased from the taxi ranks because they were not PF. They must return to those taxi ranks. Does that require intellectualism? So are the marketeers. Not UPND marketeers, but all Zambians. All of them. We want to bring civility in the market so that any citizen can trade there as long as they've capital, they've accessed the store, working with the council. I'm aware that there are market cooperatives. I'm aware of that. Those are managed under, I think, local authorities as well. There's an arrangement they have there. Let's not confuse things here. To my colleagues in the UPND, this debate must end today. Our youth leaders across the country, do not be the enemy of your own government. Do not undermine your own party. Do not become the new thugs in town. We are civilized people. Trade in the market. You were taken away from the market. Work with the councils. Discuss those issues. You can't have one political party occupying all the stores. Because that's what PF did over 10 years. That's an issue. But deal with that issue. That is not an issue that now entitles you to go back to the market in a violent way and begin to frighten the very voters that gave you the opportunity to run this country. Do not be your own enemy. If it's PF cadres disguised in UPND name, it's easy to isolate them, isn't it? We support our youth to do something gainful. We support you. You know that. We support you to get financial support, financial credit. That's why we set up the small medium enterprise. We support you. You will see the support in reality very soon. But you can't expect us to do that within 30 days of forming government. What magic would we play? We have to get the economy going. That magic did not mean you becoming the new thugs in the markets. Provincial Chairman Lusaka organized a meeting with our members in Lusaka, not in this State House, at our secretariat. We will be able to discuss. I'll be there. We'll talk. Let's discuss. We have a lot for you, more than you have ever imagined. So don't disturb, don't spoil your dish. We have a lot. You will see going forward, no new timber license will be given to a foreigner. Nothing. Zero. Those licenses will go to Zambians. Youth, women, all of you. So calm down. Don't spoil your own dish. We made a case out there that in the mining sector, we want to see Zambians being shareholders there. We want to see Zambians taking the priority for employment. We don't want to see a tractor driver who is a foreigner. We want to see a Zambian driving a tractor, driving a crane, driving an excavator on the mine. Don't spoil your dish by being the new hooligans around. There will be nothing like that. It will not happen. You do that, you'll be faced with the police. The police will confront you. Leaders of our party, don't agitate the youth to do wrong things at all levels. Do not do that, because you'll be in direct confrontation with your president. Your president wants law and order. Your president cares for you. Your president wants to make opportunities available for you than ever before. But true for other youth, true for other women, true for other Zambians who were elected by almost 3 million people in a landslide victory. Zambians wanted stability, wanted peace. They call it Freedom Day. Now we want to take away their freedom, newfound freedom. They call it New Dawn. Women, don't start singing songs that agitate in the wrong direction. If you allow these people to grow new thuggeries, they will come for you, and don't come to me to complain. You will have generated them. You will have bred them in your homes. Today I'm direct. I don't want to go beating about the bush. I want this media to come to UPND meetings, to any political party meeting, without a fear of them being attacked. That's the freedom we fought for. Shall I say something again? Councils, take charge of the markets, bus stops, taxis, as per your mandate. Be fair to citizens. If stands were taken by one political party, it's time you reorganize that. Because that's where the pressure is coming from. You have our support in that direction. But policing society is a job of the police. It's not the job of cadres, PF. Whether you wear a UPND t-shirt, it will not work. If you are genuine UPND, do not go in that direction. I think you have heard me. I'm your servant. I will always wait for you. But don't catch me on the wrong side. Women are important in our community. Very important. I hear a lot of issues raised about women participation. Why don't we check the facts again? Women are very important to us. We support women as we support youth. We have a woman vice president. We have a woman vice president. We have the first woman speaker of the National Assembly. Deputy Speaker is also a woman. Deputy Whip in the National Assembly is also a woman. Minister of Labor is a woman. Minister of Health is a woman. Minister of Information and the Media is a woman, isn't it? We have now reached a point where PSCs are coming through. We have been methodical. You dismantle problems in a methodical way. If you don't do that way, you get it wrong. And then it will bite you. It will bite you and bite you very badly. I guess you got used to haphazardness in the past. 10 years is a lot of time for haphazardness to entrench itself like it's a norm. No, that was haphazardness. Let's be methodical. We don't want what we do to bite us. In the last 30 days, I have picked a lot of information. I'm a good learner. And I'm sure others are good learners. We now can move, and you see the speed we'll move with, because we have picked a lot of issues now. And you'll be very happy. You will see more women. We have permanent secretaries coming. We have various commissions coming. We have various ambassadorial positions coming. And you'll see a lot more women there. So be calm. But I'm sure you want to see your husbands also taking some positions, isn't it? I'm sure you want to see your sons as well, isn't it? As you want to see your daughters taking positions, you want to see your sons as well. Aren't you the mothers to your sons? Aren't you the wives to your husbands? Equity. I have made my case today. I guess I deserve a rest. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being attentive. I'm sorry that at some point the PA failed us, but I'm sure you got the message. My eyes were flashing around. I have seen that radio station. I promised to have an open radio programs where Zambians will be asking questions of any kind on an open radio line. And no one will be harassed. No one. All we'll do, I will have my staff that will be taking numbers, names, people complaining in Chama. That very afternoon, we'll send people to go and attend to the people's complaints in Chama. Any nearest government department there. That's what we want to do. We want to talk to our people. We don't mind the questions they ask us. It's them to ask the right questions. It's our obligation to answer. Director of Ceremonies, I'm done for today. Thank you very much, colleagues, for being here.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, we shall now proceed to taking a couple of questions. We are going to take two sets of three questions, all of which we ask that they be concise and straight to the point. No consolidated questions, please. And let us make sure that we ask questions within the remit of what Mr. President has said. Can we also please get a good balance between public press, the private press, and also the freelancers? I know the freelancers are also here. So I will proceed to taking the first set of three questions. Right. Can we make some room here so that people can come through nicely to ask their questions? I will take one question from the mast. I will take another question from Mr. Mwewa. I'm also going to take another question from ZMBC for starters, please. Please come this way. Thank you. This one here.
Mr. President, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Oliver Singer from the Mass Newspaper. Among the many things that Zambians have been talking about, the critics out there, is the issue of the Gulf Stream. I remember during your campaign you talked about having found a buyer for the Gulf Stream. We're wondering whether that buyer is backpedaled. Then secondly, are you going to use it?
One question. Choose your question. One question.
Well, it's just clarity about the Gulf Stream. There's been a lot of talk whether you're going to use it or not, and if you found a buyer, if it's going to be sold. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Martin.
Mr. President, once again, congratulations on the speech at the UN. It's very inspiring. One question, Mr. President. As you know, this Kada issue is very controversial. My question is, how do you balance the party's desire to have a firm footing within our communities in terms of spreading the message of the new dawn, and the president's position in making sure that Colorism, which I would assume you define as thuggerism. How do you strike a balance there? Because it's on the ground. I can tell you, the moment you announced that our people in the markets, in the street, can wear whatever color they want, it was amazing to watch that everybody wore what they wanted for the first time. In the past, in City Market, you couldn't wear anything red. You were victimized. So that is my question. How do you balance? The party needs to have a firm footing in terms of spreading the UPND ideology. Yes, sir.
Understood.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I just want to find out, the previous PF administration embarked on various infrastructure projects across different sectors, from health, education, and also roads. I want to find out your policy on continuity of these projects and the rebirth of the airline. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colleagues in the media, and again, I'm going to re-emphasize this. All questions must be within the remit of what Mr. President has addressed. If you desire to ask a question outside of that, please do send through, by all means and every means, do send through a press query, and we shall be kind enough and prompt enough to respond to that. So can we have a set of 3 ladies, please, to come through. As you come through, please indicate your names very clearly, and also the media organization that you are representing, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Priska Lumingo from Millennium Radio. When you met the U.S. Vice President, you said there was need for Zambia to realign its values to that of the U.S. Can you clarify on that? What values were you talking about? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Virginia Chilongo from Movie TV. This morning, we were just informed by the Auditor General that, and he has since released a report, that about 1.4 billion kwacha was spent on wasteful expenditure in the year 2020. You've spoken about addressing the procurement processes, but then a huge chunk of this financial irregularity was the failure by government institutions to honor contractual obligations. So I'd like to find out from you how you hope to address this and what targets you've set for your administration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Next question, please, and Mr. President then may respond.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Kalimbula from Camlet TV. Mr. President, before I ask a question, I just want to bring to your attention, obviously, what is already on your table, that while we have this press conference here, one of the radio stations in Osaka that you appeared on was gutted on the 28th of September 2021. And we are here to represent them and we wish them well. My question, Mr. President, is that, first of all, I'm from Camlet TV. I'm not sure if I mentioned. My question is that you spoke highly of fighting corruption while you were campaigning, but then you've been in government for close to 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. 3 months. One month. Oh, okay, I think I'm a little bit fast. Maybe I transitioned you too quickly. Okay. So yes, but then your people seem to be agitated, thinking you're not putting much effort in ensuring that the people that have committed these atrocities are brought to book. Just how much are you doing in ensuring that people are brought to book? I know you've mentioned to say everything will be brought back to to the people whom these things belong to, but just how long are the people going to wait?
Thank you very much. The President may respond.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the questions, colleagues. Oliver, Gulfstream, have you changed your mind, or is there a buyer? Will you sell it or not? Our position is the same. That's not changed, Oliver. It hasn't changed. We're consistent people. If we were driven by, the feel-good factor and desire to fluffy around with the so-called luxury when citizens are suffering, We could have just gotten into a Gulf Stream and flew to the US. We had to take a commercial flight. It's part of delivering our message about the Gulf Stream, that we did not agree in the manner in which it was purchased. Why did the debate start in the first place? Because we were concerned about the cost of that airplane, isn't it? Was a fair price paid? Isn't it? We thought it was expensive, it was unnecessary at the time for the price. Let's understand each other. For the price, you can buy a bicycle. If the bicycle, let me change it, Oliver. If the bicycle costs 2,000 kwacha, and you go and buy the same bicycle at 20,000 kwacha, or 10,000 kwacha, you've lost. Let's assume that bicycle, you're a worker in government. Instead of buying it at 2,000, you go and pay 10,000. What have you done? The bicycle is necessary, yes, isn't it? Let's be smart here. Let's use our grey matter just a little bit, right? The bicycle is needed for a messenger in your office, a government office, to deliver mail within a short distance. Let's move from a bicycle. Let's use a practical example, a motorbike, for a messenger to deliver mail in a township, in a government office somewhere. And the motorbike is for 20,000 kwacha. You as a controlling officer, you go and pay 40,000 kwacha for a motorbike. First, have you paid the right price? So why have you paid an additional 20,000? Something wrong there, isn't it? That's what we contended. And soon you'll understand why we did that. Now we have the figures. And we've been proven right. Second question. Is it that you don't want the motorbike to deliver mail or not? The motorbike is necessary, isn't it? But we're concerned about the price you pay. Oliver, that settles this debate. It was not an emotional attachment because somebody was riding a Gulf Stream. If it was that perception, I could have simply, President is the commander-in-chief, eh? I could have simply said, Zaf, where is the pilot? Let's go to New York. By the way, the pilot was ready. And I had to fight with Zaf for not using that plane. And I said to Zaf, I'm not using it on principle. My argument remains the same. Bamweo. Tenga, you will see soon we're taking that matter to cabinet, we're taking it to parliament, and then at that point, numbers will become known to all of you. Then you'll see who loves this country and who did not love this country. You make your own judgment. But it doesn't mean that the plane is not necessary. You understand me? Like the motorbike. You need a motorbike to deliver mail. But why would you pay twice the price? That's what we want the Zambians to now know and decide what to do. That makes sense. A lot of sense. It will be very soon, you'll get to know those figures and you'll be frightened yourself. Remember, we say 3 principles. Buy at the right price, quality, delivery. Let's assume the quality is right, delivery was on time. What about the first factor, the price? Why pay? Let me not dwell into that, because I want you to get your figures first hand. You'll be shocked, Wally. Then you start thinking differently as you see certain people walk your streets. You start looking at them with a different eye, with a squinty eye. How could a normal person do a thing like that? That's the issue, Oliver. We haven't changed our view a bit. And I think Zambians, you must get used to consistent people. You've been used to something else, and it's become normal. You find me abnormal because I'm consistent. And because I'm concerned about your money. And you find me abnormal. You think now I hate certain people. No, I don't. I'm concerned about your money because that money abused there could have been used to do many things that are not happening now. I guess I've answered your question. Just be patient, Oliver. You'll be scared. What you hear and see, you'll be scared yourself. Even I had no idea it was that sort of situation. Now I know. I'm in a privileged position to know. I know for you on your behalf. And my position remains. I was saying to myself, hey, well done, you chap. Eh? You were telling the truth. Now, the facts, the figures are here before you. And I looked at the figures, Oliver, once. Is this real? Twice. 3 times. And more things came associated with that item. It's disgusting. It's shameful. Be careful when you elect presidents next time. Be careful. Bamweo, your question is very good. Cadres are a tricky issue. How do we strike a balance? UPND want to entrench itself in the community. That is true. We're a political party. We mobilize. We won this election without having cadres controlling markets. We couldn't even enter markets. Anyone who entered with the UPND decision, you were beaten for killing. But we won the election, isn't it? Yes. It means we mobilized, isn't it? So mobilization is crucial. But we want to mobilize as UPND, and we shall. Make no mistake about it. We shall mobilize. We are aware of what our colleagues are trying to do. They are free to regroup, but they have a big task ahead of them. They have a big task ahead of them. Zambians are not foolish. Eh? The memories are fresh. We lost people. People were killed. All I'm saying, Vamwewa, I don't want us to be the new killers. That's all I'm saying. If it injured us to be killed, to be beaten in the market, how would it please us to beat other people in the market? Common sense, isn't it? Yes. If you are a youth leader in UPND, and you know what we were discussing, how we had to campaign in a difficult way. We were not allowed to go to prisons. You remember? Yes. When prisoners were allowed to vote, only one party was allowed to campaign in prisons. Only one party. Did we like it? No. Did we win in the prisons? Yes, we won. How did we do it? Well, we reached out in a different way, in a clever way. Why don't we use that formula which works very well for us? Why do we want to be the new team that beats people out there? Fortunately, your own servant called HH will not allow that to happen. But you are free to campaign, you are free to mobilize anywhere. That's the law. It's in the Bill of Rights. You are also free as a party, like other parties, to trade in a market. Am I talking to somebody here? Yes. Because you are driven out of the market by thugs. So you are free to return. It's a question of the councils now sitting with the communities to make sure that all community members have access to these markets. Correct. To trade, yes. To sell bread, yes. To sell carpenter, to go and buy what I want. Bamweo, as president of the UPND, with all my support base, I couldn't go into Soweto there. Yes. Because I knew if I went into Soweto, people would be killed there. Yes. My members would be killed. So I protected them from being killed. I also knew that, because we knew our strength, and if we went with our cadres there, someone else may be killed who is not UPND. But even there, I protected their lives. Yes. PF must say thank you to us. Sometimes they must say thank you to us. If it was PF that won the 2021 elections, blood would have been all over. Have you forgotten that HH was said 40 days ago only? Madam, I haven't been in government 3 months. It's only 30 days or thereabout. I was told myself that I was fit for a bullet in my head. Yeah. Have you forgotten? And that after elections, the first action my colleague was going to embark on was to put me behind bars. 15 times was not enough. He needed me to be in there again. PF members, I want to appeal to you, behave yourselves. Don't provoke a situation that we are managing well. Let me turn to that now. We are managing the UPND supporters very well. They may be unhappy now, but I know they will be happy very soon. But equally, I am asking PF to behave themselves. Because we say to our members, do not attack your colleagues in PF.
Yes.
Allow them to wear their uniform. But did they allow us to wear uniforms?
No.
Did they allow us to trade in the markets?
No.
Were we allowed a taxi driver who wore a UPND t-shirt at a taxi rank, was he allowed to do business there? Yes, taxi driver, minibus driver, Kulima Tower, they were being beaten for the queue. So PF, behave yourselves. You are lucky that HH is the president of Zambia.
Yes.
You are very lucky.
Yes.
So behave yourselves. Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes.
But for you sleeping dogs, keep lying there. You will find this valuable in a few years' time. You will look back and cherish this decision that I took. You will look back and respect me then.
Yes.
We want to bring back normals to our country.
Yes.
We want to bring back equity. We want to bring back fairness to our country. We want to bring back freedom.
Yes.
True freedom. No one should be scared to walk to a bus stop.
Yes.
Let me be presumptuous, Samuel. We want to open this economy 24/7. I'm working on that. We're working on that. Which means factories can work 24 hours. A factory worker should be able to go for a shift at 02 and no one should attack them. That's where I'm going.
Yes.
Read me. That's where I'm going. So that we can bring crime under control. Because criminals hid in the name of party cadres.
Yes.
Yet they were thugs, carrying guns and killing Lawrence Band. Have I forgotten?
No.
Have we forgotten?
No.
Police, do your job. Who killed Lawrence Band?
Yes.
Are you sure Lawrence must be forgotten like that?
No.
Bamwewa, that's where I'm going. I'm walking step by step. Because if we allow the UPND members to revenge, how will the people live in the communities? By now you know that UPND are in the majority. Isn't it?
Yes.
How will PF live in Mandela? How will PF live in Chawam? If we say to a UPND member, revenge, avenge, what will happen? Think for a moment. It is my duty, my singular honor, to restore order in this country.
Yes.
And I need the cooperation of UPND members, PF members, who I'm asking to behave themselves.
Yes.
Right? I'm asking other political parties, I'm asking churches, I'm asking civil society, I'm asking traditional leaders. Let us work together to bring freedom to all our people.
Yes.
Don't fight each other. Fight poverty.
Yes.
I will come and sign a certificate for you to fight poverty, not to fight each other.
Yes.
Let's work how we shall get you to trade in timber and to process desks, to make desks, so that when you wait for the budget, just wait for the budget. When the money goes to the constituencies, then you can be a supplier of desks in the schools there. Not buying desks from a foreign country. That's a fight I'm signing a certificate for. So that you can make nurses' uniforms.
Correct.
And you'll be given a contract. Proudly so.
Yes.
Just make sure your quality is good.
Yes.
And your price is good. And you deliver on time. 3 principles. then you are my friend. You are our friend. You're a true Zambian. Don't play with this issue of cadreism, the way PF did it. I went to prison myself 15 times. I want to protect other people from going to prison when they are not committing any crimes. It's enough. I served enough prison for you citizens. Lawrence Banda, Mapens Chibulo, Joseph Kaunda, Sama, they paid enough blood. We don't want to see any more blood of a fellow citizen. Even those who attacked us. I told one of them face to face, I said, I didn't like your behavior when you were in government. But I've forgiven you, but don't do it again. We can't return to those days. I'm serious. We can't return to the days where you couldn't even walk to a market free. You couldn't go to a gas station to put fuel free. If it's you, Mwewa, they were looking for you every day. They were looking for you every day. Now we have given you freedom. I'm sure you should say thank you. Thank you. That includes no UPND cadre should touch you. Even if you say something on your program which is against HH, nobody should touch you. Just give them a platform to respond. Then we can equalize. That's a country I've been dreaming about for many years. Yes. And God has given us an opportunity to take this responsibility.
One president. Where are you?
PF pushed infrastructure. Will you stop? Will you continue? I've already in a way answered that question. Infrastructure is important, it's good. But infrastructure must be seen in the context of food for our people. In the context of jobs for our people. In the context of businesses for our people. You know those roads were being done at 5 times the price. We will not go that way. We want infrastructure, Muchima, but it will not be done at $1.2 billion for a 340-kilometer road. Never. Never. Never again. You have to take me out first. It won't happen. That's why you put me in this office. It won't happen. Yes, we want the roads, but not at that price. We want the roads, not at this raw quality. The road is being done in front, in the back is speeding off. That's daylight robbery. Projects must be finished on time. The Auditor General has found an issue. Mind you, the Auditor General presented the report to us first, that projects are not being completed and more money is being paid for the same projects. Those habits must come to an end. I guess I've answered your question. What is worth doing, we'll do. At the right price, right quality, timely delivery. But you know, development is about balancing things. Do you know why roads were attractive to PF? Because that's where it was easy to be corrupt. Yeah. That's where it was easy to steal money. Priska, meeting, you said in the meeting with the US Vice President, you said Zambia should align its values to the US. That's not true. Absolutely not true, Priska. If it was a media report, you can get a footage of that meeting. It was recorded. I said that we have values that are aligned. It's different from saying we align our values to the US values. We have Zambian values. What are the Zambian values? We want our freedom as Zambians, isn't it? Amen. Those are values. We want our values is anti-corruption. The African values in our communities, if you stole, those days you are banished from that community. You were sent away in the bush. Those are our values. They shall not steal. Even Christian values confirm Zambian values, isn't it? Yes. We said we don't want corruption. Zambian value is American value. Means we're aligned, isn't it? Does that mean we're changing our values to support American values? No. Priska. Maichawant. Wenkashiant. That's a more fair and respectable position, Wenkashian. So I withdraw Moichewan to Wenkashian. Isn't it? Am I forgiven? Thank you very much. We talked about the importance of democracy instead of dictatorship. Those are Zambian values, aligned to American values, isn't it? We talked about human rights, respecting women, respecting children. Those are our values, isn't it? So, if we are aligned in values, we are good to go. But not that we change our values to suit American values. No. Thank you. I hope I've made my point clear. Also, development, enterprise. Let me say something here. Enterprise, businesses. We support Zambians to generate business. Why do you think we are changing the licenses that timber license must go to Zambia? Why do you think we are doing that? Because we want Zambians to be business people, isn't it? Yes. Why do we want to give mining license to Zambia? Because we want you to use that license as your contribution to a joint venture with someone who has technology and the cash. Yes. It means we want you to be business people. Yes. The more resources you have at your disposal and you look after your children, the less corrupt you become. If you are dependent on handouts, you are susceptible. We do not believe in ubomba mwibala lya mwibala. No. No. So we have shared values. Where the American values will be different from ours, we'll say so to our friends. Absolutely, without shame. With confidence, we'll say, we share this value, that value, that value, this one we don't share. You can count on us. Chilong, Madam Chilong. Auditor General report funds of it? Absolutely. Absolutely. This year, we want to do something different, Madam Chilong. We discussed right there yesterday with the Auditor General. Auditor General complained that in the years past, they even failed to do audits because the colleagues that were in office didn't want the Auditor General to do the audits. You can speculate. Why didn't they want the Auditor General to do the audits? So that they don't pick issues, isn't it? There we agreed, I can make it public now. The Auditor General's report, the Financial Intelligence Center report, Anti-Corruption Commission, DEC, those reports will be handed over to prosecutions so that the prosecutions can decide which matter needs to be taken care. And I said that during the campaign. We are walking the talk. You have used resources, people's resources. The Auditor General's report will not just be a report on the shelves. It will be a report going to prosecution, National Prosecution Authority. And we agreed with the Auditor General that they will take a copy there and I'll wait for a few days. If nothing moves, I will pick my own copy and take it to the National Prosecution Office. Hey. You will be happy to know that Parliament Public Accounts Committee should not just be a process. And I asked the Auditor General, I said, these things you are reporting here, do you have batching documents? Do you have evidential information? And his answer was, yes, Mr. President. We have the details here. And we are happy to support the prosecutions. I said, why were you not supporting them before? That there was no political will. The political will is here. Amen. It's here now. Tell your relatives not to be scared. If they didn't steal, they're okay. Sharon, I'm very sorry about the radio station. I'm very sorry, really, really sorry. I'm not sure what happened there. I hope the police will establish what happened. United Voice Radio, I'm very, very sorry. And I hope no life was lost in there. But property is equally important. So we are with you. Whatever support we can render to the radio station, I'm talking as an individual, we'll be happy to do that. So let's talk privately. Since you say you are representing them, pass that message to them. Whatever we can do to restore that, and all of us, I'm talking to all of us, let's support our friends there. This is what family is all about. In good times and in bad times. Soon you will discover Bali is your true friend. He is your true friend. Because now you will make your own comparison of the past and how things are happening now. But just be patient. Just be patient. You are not fighting corruption enough. Members are complaining. I think I've answered that question. I've just dealt with that on the Auditor General's report. We've also asked the Financial Intelligence Center reports. Remember, there were reports in the past that were done, and they were defined as witchcraft. Remember?
Yes.
As in fiti. Those reports too are going to prosecutions. Those reports, Sharon, of the Financial Intelligence Center are going to prosecutions. We want to make it sour to steal from Zambians.
Yes.
We want to make it uncomfortable to steal from Zambians. It's been too comfortable. It has been made to be normal in the last 10 years. We want to make corruption and stealing from public, coffers uncomfortable. In Parliament, we said, Sharon, we will be professional in the fight against corruption. Past corruption, present corruption, and the future corruption. You want to be a permanent secretary in the UPND government? Search your soul. I'm serious. Search your soul. You may just walk yourself into trouble. And I know a lot of people are clamoring to take government jobs because they believe that they will build mansions the way those who were there before them built mansions. I know that. I'm just helping you. Set your soul. Because if you walk in that row and you start taking advantage of the procurement authority you have, the Auditor General will catch you, then prosecutions will visit you. Then you say, you see, HH is not a friend. Even as UPND members is going for them. No, it's not me. It's your own habit going for you. So Sharon, just patience. Let's tell our colleagues out there, I know why you are impatient. A lot of money was taken away from you. I know. I am impatient, but I'm also methodical. I'm impatient like you, but I'm also wanting this fight to be professional so that we don't tamper on human rights.
Yes.
We don't get people arrested before an investigation. Remember what we said? So let the oversight institutions do their job. I know that people are complaining that the institutions are slow. They are not working properly. I have a date with those institutions just to check what they need. Do they need more support? Do they need technical support? We can arrange that for them. Do they need more skills? We can arrange that for them. But the actual job must be done by them. Is that fair?
Yes.
Would you want HH to do anything else? If I do something else, I'll be interfering. But we'll provide political will. Sharon, 50 days ago, the ACC could not even arrest anybody. If they did arrest anybody, the PF cadres went to court and threatened the magistrate. This time round, there will be no cadres threatening a magistrate. You see why we don't want cadres in that manner? Magistrates must operate freely. But even magistrates, we send a message to them. They must discharge justice quickly and fairly. I think I'm done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we have just about 12 minutes before we draw to the conclusion of our press conference. We are scheduled to finish at 5. So, with the permission of the President, I will take 3 last questions. And if the President pleases after that, he might exercise his discretion. but for purposes of time, the last three sets of questions, Sun FM, Daily Liberation, and Diamond TV.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Afternoon.
My name is Sandra Minga from Sun FM TV. My question is based on your talks with IMF. Zambia became the first pandemic-era sovereign to default last year on the Eurobond. So now the International Monetary Fund demanded that the country implements agreed policies before resuming talks on the long-awaited economic program that held up debt restructuring talks with external creditors. What's the new position based on the talks you held with the IMF?
Thank you very much. Daily Revelation, please.
Excellence. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
My name is Patson Chilemba with Daily Revelation. Your Excellency, you said that you ensure that every asset taken away from the people is recovered. I want to find out if the investigations will point towards the involvement of your predecessor, Mr. Edgar Lungu. Will you be willing enough to lift his immunity for prosecution? And secondly, Your Excellency, you have been
excuse me, sir. Just one question, and that's it, please. Thank you very much.
Must have said.
Thank you very much.
That's the rule we said, isn't it? It's part of discipline, right?
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Nchimnyangandu from Diamond TV. You spoke highly about your trip to the UN General Assembly, where you were able to meet a number of key partners in our economic development. But we do understand that China has been an all-weather friend for countries like Zambia and among many other African countries. When you talk about the Tazara, we cannot talk about it without the mention of the support from China. Now, $120 billion is in the offering, that's from China. But since your election, Mr. President, there seem to be little rather interaction with the Chinese government. And I just basically would want to understand your position as the new party in government. What's our relationship with China, who we also owe quite a number of monies. When you talk about the roads that you spoke about earlier on, all these are coming from our interactions with the people of China. Thank you.
Yeah, if we can deal with this.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Perhaps with your discretion, Mr. President, I see there's a clamor of questions. Can I just take two last questions?
No problem.
From DC and Diana. Colleagues from ZNBC, you have had a chance to ask your question. I apologize.
You're welcome, Mr. President, and I hope your commercial flight trip was very comfortable for you. I want to ask a question concerning government workers that obviously worked for these ministries that have been realigned, and maybe a situation where you've also created new ministries, and obviously meaning that those that have been removed will affect workers who used to work there. Are you planning to, take them to other ministries where they can be of a certain relevance, or does it mean it is done for them? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Diana from Daily Mail. Your Excellency, in the latter part of your address, you talked about appointments of PSs, diplomatic appointments, and other appointments under jurisdiction. But from the appointments made thus far, there has been a concern, or rather an assertion by a cross-sector of society, that you have been appointing friends, close allies and relatives. Would you please clarify on that? Thank you.
Relatives.
Thank you very much. Members of the press, the President may respond, after which we shall very, very quickly draw to a close of our press conference. Members of the press with questions, I do advise you to send through press queries, and we shall continue the conversation. Thank you very much. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I'll be quick this time round. I think in the first round I set the stage for certain matters of principle, and I hope that helps in us looking at or evaluating our answers to questions. Madam Mulenga, IMF Zambia, defaulted? Are we looking at discussions in a different way? No, I actually touched on it that part of our mission was to engage the IMF, the World Bank, so that we can restore credibility that will allow us to look at the challenge around the debt. I think I said so. And the challenge around the debt is to make sure that we restore Zambia's credibility as a partner, either as a borrower in this case, with the lenders, with the debt stockholders, and also as a partner in development with many other cooperating partners. I think I just said we achieved that. Maybe we even overachieved it. So which means the goodwill coming through will help us now to engage in debt restructuring that will give us headroom to release resources towards not consumption expenditure all the time, but investment expenditure. I can only repeat by saying what I've said. I think that's the issue there. No lender wants, no borrower wants to default, because default creates new issues, complications. So it's better you negotiate your way through in a credible manner than just defaulting. Defaulting means you've actually demonstrated lack of capacity to manage yourself. But we have a heavy debt burden, we know. It's inherited, we know. But we are the government and we have to tackle it. So we are tackling it. You will see progress that will come out very soon. And I'm sure you'll begin to isolate the things I'm saying today. But we'll do our best in that area. If there's a team that can handle this in the political arena, it is this team. I shall repeat that. If there's a team that can handle this complex issue in the political arena, it is our team. Because the team that was there put us in this mess. So even when they comment, and I see you colleagues fail to challenge them, even when they comment in the media, really, if they were sensible, they wouldn't even touch this subject. They'll be so ashamed. They took this country into a mess, a country whose debt was less than $3 billion just 7 years ago. Now we're on $20+ billion. If I were them, I would be so ashamed that I would be covering my face when this subject comes. But unfortunately, some people have no sense of shame. Unfortunately. But there you are. This team is well placed. This team has credibility. This team is respected out there. So we shall use all of these credentials to help this country, to help ourselves, to create room for development, revenue release. Have you heard that? Yeah. To create room for development, revenue release. Patson. Corruption fight. Reaching out. If it involves my predecessor, what will you do? Will you remove the immunity? We'll cross the bridge when we get there. If we don't get there, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. And you'll be in the know. But our intention is not to harass anybody. Our intention is for citizens to recover what is theirs. Our intentions are very noble, except someone else who has a different agenda. You see what I used to do, Patson, remember, don't forget, we've been in opposition for a long time, 23 years. Myself, 15 years. Taking over from the late Mazob. May he so rest in peace. I wished he lived long enough to see this day. And many others. I wished Lawrence Banda lived long enough to see this day. And Joseph Kaunda and others. I wished so. But my wishes have no powers. Anyway, when I was mainstream opposition, 15 years, every time people made accusations about me, that I stole money and this and that, have you forgotten what my responses used to be? I said, take me to court and arrest me. I was confident, I'm still confident that there's nothing in there. You think that if I had stolen, I would have survived? Never. So I think we must work on the premise that you are strong because you are innocent. But I won't say more. The China question. That China is one of the lenders. China offers $120 billion. I guess it's not to Zambia. It is to many other countries. Let's get the facts right. Where's my friend who asked that question? China is offering $120 billion to who?
For many African countries, just basically your relationship seems
No, I hear you. I'm just asking a simple question. So $120 billion, so that people don't write it wrongly. That's why I'm interrogating you. Is $120 billion, it's not to Zambia. It is to many countries. Many countries. So one would now write a story that HH went to Washington and he came with very little. China was offering $120 billion to Zambia. No. I'm just correcting things there. So now the issue is that you are saying that we're not talking to China. How do you know we're not talking to China? At a time, we can only take one trip. So the next time I go to China, will the Americans say I'm not talking to Americans? Honestly. That doesn't, really logically, that is not true. We are engaging China. China is an important player in the world. Before I left for the UN General Assembly, and remember, let's understand what took me to America. Are we aware what took me to America?
Yes.
It's the General Assembly.
Yes.
The UN General Assembly even brought China to America. The Chinese were there in the same meeting. Everybody was there. So we all went to America. Does it mean that all those countries are pro-America and they're against China? Because even China was in America. So even China is pro-America in that case. I'm being a bit satirical, but because I've heard this issue. I went to the UN General Assembly. The UN headquarters is what hosts the General Assembly in New York. So that's why I went there. So we can put the record clear. But I understand your question. Before I went there, we had meetings with the Chinese ambassador. Very good meeting. Very good meeting. And even when I was away, there were more engagements with China. I'm not sure if you read about that. Our party, UPND, met the Chinese ambassador in my absence. So China, any other country, very important. We need to engage with everybody. And we will continue engaging with China. A lot of debt we owe is to China, isn't it? We cannot do without talking to China. We have to discuss similar issues. Remember, China is a member of the World Bank. Are you aware of that? Are you aware China is a member of the IMF? Are you aware of that? So when I talk to IMF and World Bank, I was talking to China. I was talking to myself because Zambia is a part owner of IMF and World Bank. Are you aware of that? We're talking to one fund. I think that answers the question. China has their role. They have their role. They're important. We will be engaging. We've been engaging. We actually will continue doing that. We have mutual respect. Other countries, many countries, neighbors. But remember, my friend, I've also said that we must change the narrative. First, we must deal with each ourselves in Zambia. The first love I have is to the people of Zambia. You didn't hear me? My first love is to the people of Zambia. Then in that order, to my neighbors. That's why I had a meeting with President Tshisekedi. Because if you are not living well with your neighbors, you may have a problem. My next love is to SADC. My next love is to Africa. And then to the world. Those are the people or structures I love. By logic. So we love you first. Before anyone else. Before Americans, it's you. Before China, it's you. So I want Zambians to get the jobs in the sectors before anyone else. Because that's our responsibility, our duties to the people of Zambia first. I think I'm done. Oh, hang on. Diana. Government workers change. Oh, Diana. Dora. 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 Lovely Dora. Dora, your concerns are valid, but you shouldn't be too worried about that. The way we've realigned these things is not really meant to declare anybody redundant per se, by and large. I mean, some of the functions that have gone to green economy and environment includes those that were in the Department of Environment in other ministries. So we are refocusing there. There may be one or two PSCs that may not have a place, very small numbers. Nothing to worry about there. We are conscious of the fact that Zambians need jobs. We are here to create jobs. We are not here to destroy jobs. But we are also aware that if we don't restructure ministries, we will not create jobs anyway. I think that's my answer, Madam Dora. Thank you for your good question. I guess you asked it on behalf of other people who are concerned. Calm them down. Diana. This is where I think I cited that name first. Diana. PS diplomats, HH has appointed friends and relatives. That is not true. You have started the innuendos now. It's too early to start the innuendos. It's too early. It's too early. This thing is, I knew it was coming. It's too early to start those innuendos. If you look at cabinet, who is my relative on that cabinet? Tell me one. Just one. Diana is shaking her head. She says there's none. She's answering. There's none. These are the innuendos that digress good work. And we bring in a bit of dark stuff, so that you can get at HH now. Because you can't get at him, he's not a thief. He was able to execute himself well out there in the league of competent people, right? In the league of competent people. You heard what I said. Not in the league of incompetence, but in the league of competent people. Now you say, oh, he went to church, he sang in tongue. Now let's lampoon him that, why did he sing in tongue? By the way, my church loves it. They said that every time they remember me, they'll be playing that song in the church every Sabbath. They are happy, but Zambians are not happy. What's the issue? What is the issue? What is the issue? Right? We begin to dig in now on negatives. There's no relative of mine on that cabinet, not a single. We were able to do what only Kaunda did. We brought a cabinet in accordance to our pronouncements that will reunite Zambia. And we'll start by the cabinet. The cabinet will have members from all the 10 provinces. We were able to do that even in provinces too, where we didn't get members of parliament. Luapula? Yeah. There. There. Well. Yeah. Minister of Agriculture. Manja, wapase manja. I'm Tolopi. Gari. Kabusu. Ulisha. Avena Kopa. Minister of Mines. Right? Maybe you are my relative.
No.
No, you are my relative, you are Zambian. You are my relative. In that sense, yes, the whole cabinet is full of my relatives. In the sense that they are Zambian. Mtolo Piri here, Minister of Agriculture, and Lakabuswe, Minister of Mines. Very important ministry. This is the one who should start giving licenses to Zambians. This one. I see. Thank you. I like this question. but I also want to drill it properly. I want to answer it properly so that I can smell what our competitors are beginning to create now, so that they can digress attention. We committed to delivering a cabinet of all the 10 provinces. And do your own audit. You will find the cabinet is of 10 members from 10 provinces. Because all Zambians are competent. Unlike before, the cabinet before ours, 90%, 95% was from one region. A province of 10, a country of 10 provinces, 90% of the cabinet were from one general region. That's it. But no one would say anything. HH comes, puts a cabinet of fairness, the question starts. Discrimination, isn't it? In Luapula, we didn't get an MP, but we have a cabinet minister. We used the 2 court nominations. In Muchinga, we didn't have an MP, we have a cabinet member from there. Young man, a youth, Elias Mubanga, minister, small, medium enterprise. That's how serious we are about national unity. So we've only begun appointing people, eh? The greater majority are yet to come. I don't know which other relative in the context being mentioned. I'm serious about it. But I know the issue. I know the issues. People are surprised that we are doing what they couldn't do. This is the only cabinet you can mirror to Kaunda's leadership. That's all. There's none else. We are proud of that. Proud of these ministers. Please support them. Support Kapala, Minister of Energy. From Luapula, Sifunavuli. Uko kutali sana. So I can afford now to talk a bit of politics because I'm done with business. Now this question is a question of politics, so I can afford to talk politics. PSCs, how many have we appointed? 2. 2 PSCs only. PS Green Energy. Green Energy. PS Musimuko. Am I right? Am I right? Is Musimuko is Tumbuka? Yeah, I love Tumbuka. I'm Tumbuka. Yes, he's my relative in that sense. The other PS is the treasury. No, 3 PSs. The other PS is the treasury. He's not my relative. Yes, because he's from Central Province. Maybe you can say he's my relative. Then the 3rd PS is at this place here, State House. I owe Zambians this explanation. I'm not shy. Is Dr. Kalabo. I'm not sure if Kalabo is my relative, but maybe because Kimalos maybe is my relative. I'm proud of these 3 PSs, and there will be a lot more coming, including women. Please, let us help this country to develop. Let's not dig in on old habits, bad habits, of maligning each other. Who else have we appointed? Attorney General? He's not my relative. If you say he's a, what did you say? My friends and my relatives. He's not my relative. Yes, it's true, he was with me at Unza. But so are many other people who were with me at Unza. Primary school, secondary school, in Europe, in the workplaces. So, I'm happy with the Attorney General appointment, very happy with the Solicitor General appointment, very happy with all the ministers. I wish them well. And there will be many more coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your generosity and for going over and above in the responses that you provided to the numerous questions which our colleagues in the media have raised. Colleagues in the media, again, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for having been a part of this press conference. We thank you indeed. I do encourage that those members of the press with questions, do feel free to send through press queries, and the whole team will go over and beyond
in providing answers from across the board. So thank you very much. Before we all be upstanding and sing the national anthem and close, at the pleasure of the President, I have been informed that there will be an opportunity for a photo session between the President and members of the press alone. The President and members of the press alone, and that will be done in batches, obviously recognizing that we're still dealing with the pandemic, and obviously emphasizing the message that we all have to go and get vaccinated. That said, shall we all be upstanding?
Before that, Anthony, private media, you are welcome. This is your state house. We know there were issues. Sometimes you were not invited. I've asked my colleagues to make sure that you are invited here. This is your state house. This is your state house. Private media, public media, this is your state house. I hope that helps.
Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wake and joy, unity, victors in the struggle for their right. We've won freedom's fight, oh, one strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us, O our people, join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace be Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight, Zambia prays to thee. Oh, one strong and free. Praise be to God. Praise thee, praise thee. Bless our great nation, Zambia, Zambia. Free men we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia.